Alright, let's see what AI can generate between the First World War and the Second World War. And this would be the first alternate history video I've done. Let's start for the reason why World War I happened. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand never happens. And so the rivalry between Austria-Hungary and Serbia cools down and they get a little bit more friendly with each other. France and Germany could still get into war, but because that AI told us that chemical warfare isn't used, this war between France and Germany could be really small scale compared to what actually happened in our timeline. But in this world, France still gets their territory back, and Germany still gets divided up, but it isn't that bad as the original Treaty of Versailles. Alright, 1917, the Russian Revolution still happens. The Tsar is dethroned. And without World War I and the other chaos, Russia stabilizes under a less radical socialist government, leading to the Bolsheviks not taking hold of Russia. And I guess we don't have a Soviet Union in this universe. I think I better move on, or Lenin might find me and stab me with a knife. 1920. Now that the USA is in power of the League of Nations, they prevent a good number of wars. And because the treaty between France and Germany wasn't that bad, Germany decides to join the League of Nations along with Russia, Austria-Hungary, and more. Alright, 1930, the year of the Great Depression. The Great Depression is handled really early on by the League of Nations, and they were really prepared for this, because the World War I never happened, and no one spent too large of a military, so they were able to handle this. 1939, Hitler is made leader of Germany, but instead of taking over everything, he implements democracy among all of Germany. Just because Hitler hasn't taken on the ideas of fascism falls out of favor really quickly, and fascist leaders like Benito are overthrown and replaced with either a democracy or a former monarch. 1941, Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. The League of Nations gets angry at them, and an all-out war blows up in the Pacific. Since Japan sucks at their navy, they, of course, lost at Midway, and the battle just went way worse from there. Bloody battle after bloody battle, the US and the other countries eventually reach the mainland of Japan, and we're deciding what to do. Were they gonna drop a bomb they just made, or go up the Japanese islands? They decided to go up the Japanese islands, forcing Japan to surrender. Because that the League of Nations hasn't decided to lay two suns on Japan, they lost thousands, even millions of soldiers while going through Japan, fighting a very brutal guerrilla warfare that might go down in US history as the bloodiest battle ever. So Japan was merely surrounded, and eventually Japan surrendered because the onslaught of millions of soldiers was too overwhelming for the Japanese Empire, seizing the war, and Japan was divided up.